Hello, everyone. My name is Dylan Hamilton. I am back here yet again with my Far Cry 5 level of the Overgrown City, which is based on or inspired by The Last of Us, as well as other levels where we have cities that are overgrown. Here, I've made just a bit of progress. I have filled in a lot of these areas, such as like the base area. Did some set design, tried to do some base functionality with the level, and overall filled out some areas that needed to be filled out. Even went ahead and put a lot of objects up here, finished out this little wooden canopy kind of area with some sleeping bags and other sleeping arrangements. Even put the med kit and the armor on this little table off to the side to make it look like it was just a thing that was set off over here. Yeah, just move this a little bit so it's not out in the middle of everything. I have put a lot of crates out just for like cover places so the player can like hide around them and try to sneak around, or even just use them for stealth to keep out of the line of sight of the enemies. So went around here. Even put this little area right up here to test out that one theory I was talking about previously, where I wanted to have the player look up to their thing. So in order to look up, there we go. Then that would catch their eye. And then they would just climb all the way up here. Ah. I was wondering why that wasn't working. There we go. So, yeah, they're places player can hide around. I made sure to put some space right here. That way, when the player peeks around, they can see. Also, over here, just added a bit of set design. A little floating at the moment, but I made it float a little bit that way with the air warnings that Far Cry gives every now and then when it comes to like placing down objects that are overlapping something else. It can be very frustrating to figure out, so I just have some stuff floating, and that's the reason why. So over here, I didn't put as much as I would have liked over here um, to have gotten done this week in the main base area. I did put some stuff, such as more of these wooden canopies in little makeshift rooms, and I even put in a little bit more set design in this here, like such as the dead body, to match with the crying animation that's right here, and just some overall mess. Over here, I even have this little thing going on. Actually, but overall, I do want to get more into like the gameplay aspect and talk about my reasoning behind each thing. I know I've gone over it a little bit in the past, but I want to talk about it more in this one. So we're actually going to be playing through some of the game, and I'm going to be discussing about it. So when spawning in, obviously you're going to be given the loadout option. Spawning in, you're going to be met with this, which is initially supposed to be like a disaster area. A lot of stuff is going to be messy, broken, and all that. Nothing's clean. That's because the raiders of this apocalyptic wasteland came through and basically destroyed everything, even killed some people, which is why there's going to be people crying and all that. They kidnapped and all that. So, grab a med kit before you go. Then you zip line down to this area, which is basically the destroyed city. There's going to be like a lot of cars, a lot of concrete stuff, and even like bus stops, all that. All of this just to basically show the desolate area it's been in. And a lot of these cars are even used for cover, not just for looks, but like the player can go around. Also, with the loadout itself, I gave the player an option to have a shotgun. Obviously, it's mostly going to be stealth based, but I'm getting out of here. It's mostly going to be stealth based with the player immediately being given the bow. But if they did want to go in loud, they have the option to have the shotgun. As for this, I wanted this area to be just pretty cool little area. Just to show more of like the environmental storytelling with this, and seeing that there's like a sewer pipe that's been busted, and it's caused a lot of this to sink in, so there's a lot of wreckage and rubble, and even this bus like fell down to be used as like a makeshift bridge. Then you can obviously get up if you fell in. That's strange. That was weird. I think there's been a lot of issues with a bow. But that's more of like a gameplay kind of thing. Because the bow hasn't been working. Let me see. Yeah. So it's the bow. Ooh. But yeah, more stuff around here to act as cover. Shovel with shovel. There we go. But, so there's also along this area, there is this little side alley. And because a lot of levels, they have like a little side secret right over here. Or little side secrets off scattered about. I wanted to have one to include one of my favorite weapons personally, a shovel launcher, because it's just a fun weapon to use. Oh, also, that little marker right there is the main target. I wanted that to be visible throughout the entirety of the level, because during one of my playtesters, they went through and they killed everyone over in that main base, and the main target was nowhere to be seen. So he wandered around for quite a bit before he eventually found the guy. But after a while, he thought he killed everyone. And so I just wanted the main target to be seen. That way, there's no confusion as to where he's hiding. But more of the storytelling aspect, I wanted there to be like a destroyed building right up here. And I added invisible walls right there. But I wanted it to be destroyed. That way it acts as like a natural block. So the player can't really come past here. Typically I use like the walls as we see over here. But I wanted to be a bit more creative and have like a destroyed building. And have the player come into like this little back alleyway that was used as like a little garage area. And even had like this little power box and all that. But that's more for just set design. So they would come in here and see like just a bit stuff. If they explored around a bit more, they would find ammo right here. That's a bit of a high kick. They come up. Once they look up, that's when they can see the grapple point. You'd be able to grapple all the way up here. Have the stool used to help get the player up, because if the stool wasn't here, it'd be very hard to... Actually, it'd be impossible to reach this. Like, if I was right here, yeah, it's not going to reach this, but with the stool up right here, it allows the player. I'm also probably going to be seen here because I made a little bit of noise.
Who in the hell did that? Look,
don't worry about it. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I went a little quiet there. I got a little too focused. Anyways, so there's this big area right here or like this big asset right here, placed in the middle of everything, to kind of divide the area a bit more. And it breaks it up into like this little side pathway that makes room for a bunch more set design and all that. And it can even be used as a cover point, as you can see what I'm doing. Using this just to sneak around everything. Oh. Then there's more cover points set all around. Whoa. So you're the last one. But same with right here. There we go. And so I added this little bit, or not this little, this big ammo pickup right here, because it is meant to be once the player comes down here, they're going to see, or they're not going to be able to get back up once they get down the zip line. So they put it right here to give the player one last chance to grab as much ammo as they can, even though they most likely won't be using as much when they get to this point. But just do that and then be able to zip line down off into the next area, which is very similar to the previous area that had the bus and all that. So they'll then be able will be brought up against the main building. Oh. And so I mentioned once before that I put this bus right here. Mainly because I wanted to divvy up the player's attention. So when they get down here from the zip line, they'll then see that there's, you know, the gateway and all that. When they come over here, the bus is meant to kind of use like the line, or how we see the lines kind of point that way. Hello. There we go. Okay. So as we can kind of see the lines point that way, it points to like a secret entrance over here. And that's one of the main things I wanted to have the player gain the option to do. Now, since I had a lot of... I still have more work to do. I want to say I'm not finished with this level by a little bit. I still want to work on it more, as evident by the lack of items around here. But since there's not any enemies, I just want to point out, there's still like the same thing going on. There's like things to hide around, stuff to sneak through, and then even climb up here to get a vantage point if the player wanted to look through everything. They even have an option to like come up here onto the main warehouse and jump on the main enemy. But I do have the main enemy. There we go. I do have him in this warehouse because this warehouse is meant to be like the main hideout for this gang in the apocalypse. And so he is going to be hiding in here in this warehouse. So for one, he won't just be wandering about and the player can just easily kill him as they fight off everyone else. But similarly, I also have it to where that's closed. But they'll be hiding here, and the player actually has to walk in here to kill the guy themselves. Come in here. I placed this bed here to remind myself that this is supposed to be like a little room area for the main guy. Anyways, once they kill the main guy, they then come over here, and the exit point will be right here, right in front of this door. So it's meant to symbolize that the main character, or you as the player, get away through this little side door right here. And that will be the end of the playthrough. Level's still not done. As I've mentioned before, I still want to work on a fair bit of stuff. Like, I still want to go through and set design this a bit more. I haven't had the time to. So I will be working more on that. Same thing with all these other bases. Putting more set design and functionality in them. As well as even getting to the vegetation. I've gotten to the main vegetation, which is like placing plants and trees and all that around. But I want to place more in the buildings. So that is going to be the stuff that I will be working on further. But that is all I have for right now. I will be working on this more. So until then, till the next update, thank you for watching.